Well, hey everybody, my name is Lonny Hogan. If you're watching this video right now, welcome, glad you're here. And I am a work from home professional. I've been working from my home for a very long time. Here I got the home office. I do a multitude of different things, affiliate marketing, digital direct sales. And one cool thing that I discovered a few years ago that I started to do because I needed it at the time is teaching Chinese children how to speak English. Now, obviously, I don't live in China. I'm down here in Texas. And I've been doing this now for going a little over 2.5 years about. And actually, I really found that I enjoy it. Okay, it's a fun way to have a nice little side hustle. That if you are somebody looking for a little extra way to make some added cash, or if you're a or if you're a mom that needs to stay at home and you want to stay just making a little bit of money, you can certainly do this. There's actually a massive initiative going on right now in China that they want to teach every single child in their country who's under 18 years old how to speak fluent English. And there's a lot of people in China, so there's a big demand for a lot of teachers. And I work for one company. There are dozens of others, though. And in this video, what I'd like to do is just kind of outlay the process for getting into with one of these companies, give you an understanding of what is required of you, and help you to know how to get started. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, if you're looking at my screen right now, you'll notice I have this little link right here. This link is for DaDa ABC. Now, that's the company I work for, but it's certainly not the only company that's out there. I'm just going to pull this up here real quick and show you what it looks like when I go ahead and log in. And usually it just kind of automatically comes in. So yeah, it looks like it's doing that right now. So right now we are looking at the dashboard. Now, if you look at this, it'll give you a schedule of your classes. Now, if you can see from this, my next class is going to be tomorrow at 6 a.m. That's Central Time. Okay, so my 6 a.m. is the equivalent of China's 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. It just depends on what part of China you're in. And so what we're doing here is I'm using my early morning hours to teach them in their evening hours. Okay, so what I do personally is I work for 3 hours in the morning. I work from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. every day, and then during the time change, it actually goes from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. So if you're going to do this line of work, if you're not too keen on being an early riser, it might not work out. But what I've found is that it really is a great way to get my day started, and it's changed me in a lot of ways to make me such an early riser, and also to give me something very distinct that I'm rising for, that's easy, fun work to do, that gives me some real solid accomplishments, so that by the time 8 o'clock in the morning rolls around, I've already had a nice, good 3-hour stint of productivity for my day, and I've done so in a giving way. Okay, so real quickly, I'm just going to show you some data here with regard to my students. I've got at this point it varies, but at this point, these are all the students that I've been working with. Some of these students I've been working with now for a couple of years. Some of them I've been working with for just a couple of weeks. Students do come and go, and it just depends on the parents of the child and what their needs and what their budget is. And some of the kids I'll work with for an hour once a week. Some of them I'll work with for 30 minutes. That's usually the standard, once a week. But some of them I'll actually work with twice a week. And there's others that I work with maybe only once a month. So it varies, but that's the general setup. And then with respect to the other things here, I'm not going to go through all these kind of little details, but you can see I can talk to the people in China if I ever have an issue or anything like that. They'll reach out to me, or I can reach out to them. Now, with respect to the pay, a lot of people who are looking at these opportunities are wondering, well, what does this pay? And you're being paid in Chinese currency, and then that has to get translated into US dollars. So keep that in mind. They're going to quote you a price in their currency, and then you've got to figure out that exchange rate. But generally speaking, these jobs will pay between about $17 and about $20 to $21 an hour. Now, if you've been with the company for a little while, like I have, I just ask for a raise every time I have a 6-month contract. and they've always been amicable about giving me not a great raise, 50 cents an hour, $1 an hour, something like that. But they have given me several raises. So my income's a little bit higher than what most people who are starting out at are getting. And then also keep in mind that the number of students you have and how busy you are is going to be a big determination as to whether or not you're making, say $600 or $700 a month versus making $1,200 or $1,300 a month. But from my experience, having now worked with DaDa ABC for quite a while, I found that you can pretty well count on usually between $800 and $1,100 a month, and it'll fluctuate by that $300 a month, predominantly because of the number of students that you may work with on any given month can shift. Holidays in China, they have a lot of holidays, and then they shut things down and they don't work as much, so that has an impact too. So if you want to become an instructor, a Chinese teacher, then the couple of things that you will need to have in place. DaDa ABC, the company I work for, does require a college degree, a 4-year college degree. Now there are other companies that don't necessarily require that. So if you don't have that college degree, don't feel like it's just dead in the water. You can do some research and find other companies that are a little more lenient on the academic credentials. The other thing, though, that I think just about everybody asks for nowadays, though, is that you are what's called TEFL Certified, or TESL Certified is another one. But basically what that means is TEFL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. It's a very simple, straightforward certification program, a course you can take to go through to become certified as somebody who knows how to teach English to somebody who doesn't speak English as their native language. So you will need to go through that. Now, becoming TEFL certified isn't super hard or anything. In fact, if I take you to, I'll just take you up here to our website. If I go to Google and I just type in get TEFL certified, and then it just pops right up. You've got a variety of different options here of different courses and companies that'll give you the access to the training you need. Basically what you do is you pay a fee, you get access to the curriculum. You're given it's like 60 or 90 days to get through it. And then you do modules where you read through the module, and then there's a quiz, and you got to take the quiz, and you got to pass the quiz to go on to the next module. If you don't pass the quiz or pass the module, that's okay. You can just take it again and again and again until you do pass. But that's the logic of this sort of training. Okay. And then as far as cost goes, there's usually different levels. You can become a master certified instructor. You can become a basic certified instructor. And I think the one that I went through had about 3 separate options, and I went through the middle one. Okay, so that was my choice, and I want to say it cost somewhere in the neighborhood of about either $150 or $200. It was right around that. So TEFL certification is very popular among people who actually want to go to Asia and live and teach over there. There's a lot of people who are young and in their 20s and want to go out and spend a year or 2 or 3 out there teaching English in China, and so this is one of the ways that people get certified to do that. But now in today's internet age, it's become much more popular to just become a TEFL certified teacher and actually instruct from inside the United States. With regard to doing this kind of education, you don't need to speak any Chinese. A lot of people are always wondering about that and a little bit worried as to whether or not they need to be able to speak Chinese. First of all, most of the kids come in speaking enough English that you can get by just with their knowledge of English when they come on board. In fact, one of my best students, spent a year living in California. He basically speaks very fluent English already. So don't worry about that. Plus, there's also translation tools out there that you can utilize that'll help you out. The whole goal here is to get them speaking English, not to get you speaking Chinese. So, it's on them to do that learning. And for the most part, I've always found that it just works out just fine. So, other questions that people typically have, do you need to come up with any kind of curriculum, or is there any work really outside of the time you spend in the classroom with the student? And not really. All of the curriculum is pretty well provided for you. Some of the curriculum is very good. Some of the curriculum I find a little bit strange and a little bit outdated, but it's all provided. And you're usually given enough curriculum that you can run through a class. You can go through the curriculum really fast, or you can go through the curriculum very slowly. It's on you. You're given a lot of freedom to teach your student as you deem fit based on the student's needs and knowledge. So, with the smarter students, you may want to go through the curriculum a little faster. With the student that's struggling, you may want to go through it a little slower. And all that curriculum is just a little bit. When you run out to the end of the class, you just click a button. So there's that, and then what else? One other thing. Then doing assessment, which is a big part of the job as well. Every single time you teach a kid, there's an assessment. Those assessments, by the way, should never take more than a minute or so to complete. And it's just very simple. What did we cover? What did the child do well? Where does the child need to improve? And what I usually do with that is I just say, hey, today we covered some reading. Today we covered some critical thinking skills. We had a conversation, a discussion, whatever it was. But just keep it short. And then, what did the children do well? Well, they were very responsive and attentive. Pay close attention. That's a good example of a way to give accolades to a student. If the child reads very well, go ahead and showcase that, and that sort of thing. And then, with respect to what does the child need most, what I usually try to do is keep it focused on where our concentration is. Like for some kids, it's about, they read very well, but their comprehension is lower. For others, it's about reading fluency, so that they read, but they sound real funny when they're reading. For others, it's critical thinking skills. I find for some of my advanced students, it's really not about teaching them English anymore, at least not the fundamentals. It's getting them to a whole new level of thinking in the English language. So if they really think, to just, they kind of live their life thinking and reasoning out their problems while thinking about those things in English language. So that's what I do with my own advanced students. So, if you're thinking about becoming a teacher, I've been working now with DaDa ABC for, going on, it's going to be 3 years here in January. So, it's getting, to the point where, okay. And then look, I got into it thinking I would only do it for about 6 months. Just needed a little something there to tide me over while I was in between jobs. And what I discovered is that, first of all, it's not hard work. It's quite enjoyable and quite fun. So there's no reason to not continue to do it if it works with my timeline and my schedule, and it does, because when you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and work until 7 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 8 a.m., you've got your whole day in front of you in order to do what you got. And for me, because I'm a work-from-home professional, I do affiliate marketing, a lot of direct sales stuff, all on my own calendar, on my own terms, so I can make my own hours. And that's where my true passions and where my real income come from, is from marketing. But what's really nice is to have that little bit of stable cash flow coming in, a little bit of that giving to others in a manner where it's not about making money, but just about connecting with other human beings and really making a strong contribution. Plus, these kids are just really awesome to work with. I've really found the Chinese children are just, they're really enjoyable, very respectful. They're, not everyone's perfect, but for the most part, the kids are there. They're smart kids for the most part. They're there to learn. They are appreciative of the time and space that I bring in. And then I've actually developed some really strong relationships with these kids. So if you have an interest in becoming a teacher with DaDa ABC, there's a link right here in the description. You can go ahead and click that link. That way I'll get some credit for it. If you decide to go ahead and become a teacher and use my link, then I get a little bit of a referral. It's a nickel and dime bonus, but it's something. So that's part of the logic for putting together this video. And then if you've got any questions about either this or other things that I do in a work-from-home capacity, feel free to reach out to me. My website is whoislonny.com. And you can go to that website where I kind of showcase a little bit about my life and my lifestyle as a work-from-home professional. I've done a litany of different things, working for companies as an employee in a virtual space, working as an independent contractor, freelancing, affiliate marketing. and in the teaching channel. So I've done enough of a broad scope of different things that if you have an interest in doing a work from home type of lifestyle for yourself, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you about what I do and how I may be able to help you to get started. So reach out to me either through email. I'll put my email address here in the description, my phone number, the links, of course, and of course also friend me on Facebook. Okay, because there's an entire community and there's Facebook groups that we have all put together for collaboration and networking for people doing the profession. Okay, so that's all I can think of. I kind of did this video a little bit off the cuff, but I hope it was some great value for you, and then I'll look forward to hearing back from you. So give my video a like and a thumbs up if you don't mind. Maybe put a little comment in there in the comments section. I'll try to respond to those if I get alerted to them. And that also helps for the exposure. I'm trying to do this video get ranked pretty high. And so your cooperation and your participation would be greatly appreciated. All right. Cheers.